Okay, yes. That's Carolyn. Carolyn, here, come say hi to Lexi.
Hi, Lexi. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, too. Music specialist, but I'm like a full-time music accent.
Yeah, and you wait there, and then after the prayer is over, then you can sit. Let me know when I can sit down. Gonna have fun. It's a much bigger crowd than I expected.
Lexi.
Chime in anytime. Chime in anytime. Especially on the Lechato D.
To make it simpler, Lexi. And then you read that, and then you light the candles. Okay? And then let's go ahead. Carol sings. Bless it. Toby's here. That's nice. What? Go find a place.
All right, break a leg. When do I sing? When do I sing? Wait, can you start it again?
Maybe I'll just push it over that way.
Wow. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
We want to start on time so you can leave on time. Everyone, welcome. This is the final lay-led service of the summer. Obviously the best. So I'm glad you're here to share it with us. Okay, in his book, The Sabbath, Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel described the Sabbath as, quote, our great cathedral. And he wrote, the meaning of the Sabbath is to celebrate time rather than space. 6 days a week, we live under the tyranny of things of space. On the Sabbath, we try to become attuned to holiness in time. Now, Carol, Tom, and I are your leaders, and we're delighted to begin Shabbat with you, to share some sacred time in our little cathedral of the Garden Room. So our opening song, a celebration of our community, Hine Matov, on page 128.
Hine Matov, Umanayim, Shevet Achim, Gam Yahad. 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 How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. Hine Matov, Umanayim, Shevet Achim, Gam Yahad. Hine Matov, Umanayim, Shevet Achim, Gam Yahad.
Okay. Would you please turn to page 121, 120 and 121 for the lighting of the candles. Judy?
O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who enter the sanctuary in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love.
Thank you. Carolyn?
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As the brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our own way, be among those who kindle light.
Let me take that from you. Excellent.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner, shal Shabbat.
Please rise as Lexi the blessing over the wine, the Kiddush. It's on-
Baruch atah Adonai,
Eloheinu melech haolam, borei pari hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivotanu, v'shabbat kodosh, v'ha'avau ratzon, imilanu, tzivanu b'malchasei b'reishit, ki hu yom zechiyah, l'livrei kodesh, zecher tziyat mimayim, kivanu asher
Sit down, please. Sorry. Anyway, if we turn to Lachuna Ranana on page 130, and then Shiru Ladonoi on page 131.
Lechune ranana, lechune ranana, lechune ranana, ladonai. Lechune ranana, lechune ranana, lechune ranana, ladonai. Naria, naria, letzori shenu, nikamafa na badola. Naria, naria, letzori shenu, bitzbirot narilalo. Lechune ranana, lechune ranana, lechune ranana, ladonai. Lechune ranana, lechune ranana, lechune ranana, ladonai. Shiru Ladonai kol haaretz. Shiru Ladonai shir kadash. Shiru Ladonai kol haaretz. Sing unto God, all the earth, a new song. I will sing unto God a new song. Sing unto God, and we'll all sing along. All the earth, a new song unto God. Shiru Adonai, kol haaretz. Shiru Adonai, shir kadash.
Rabbi Heschel tells us that the idea of Shabbat as a queen or a bride is not a personification of the Sabbath, but an illustration of God's need for human love. In Lachado D, we welcome God's presence and offer our love. Please turn to page 138. Carol will chant verses, of course, 1, 2, 5, and 9. Please rise before verse 9 and turn toward the back doors. And then, after we're finished, it's time to schmooze a little bit. And, but please stay standing after you greet everybody that you'd like to talk to. Anyway, page 138.
P'nei Shabbat Nikra, la 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 lekadudi, la 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 lekrekolot, la 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 P'nei Shabbat Nikra. Shemor v'tzahidor bedubar echad, hiveonu elam yuchad, Adonai echad, u'shemo echad, l'shem tiferet v'tlicha. La 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 lekatodi, la 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 lekrakala. Shir Daberi, Kivaradadai, Adanifila, La 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 le kakadi, La 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 le krakalot, La 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 Pene Shabbat, Pene Shabbat, Lekal Pelot. Believing Shalom, Atera Baicha, Gazes Yomcha, Usoy Tzahona, Toshem Mevni, Arms Gulayla, Boi Kala, Aoi Kala. La 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 le kakadi, La 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 le krakalot, La 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 Pene Shabbat, Pene Shabbat, Lekal Pelot, La la le kakadi, La 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 le perkanot, La 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 le periyot, Shanei Shabbat, Ena Pelot.
Lovely, Karen. It was lovely. According to my script, I'll get out of the way here. According to my script, okay. So you have this is the hour of change.
Yeah.
And it goes to the Shema.
Right,
And
so,
then Lexi will chant the Shema and the Avta. Then I come
okay,
back.
so you want me
So
to
I
just
come
ask
back.
people to be seated?
Well, no, they should stand. Don't you stand for Shema?
Huh?
Don't we stand for Shema?
Yes.
We're gonna do. Yeah, we're gonna do. Here.
This is what I'm doing.
So I guess.
Somebody has to announce it.
Are you going to our pit?
Yes.
Okay. All right. May I ask you to, could you please sit down now, please, so we can get going? There'll be time to schmooze later. Thank you. All right. Thank you all. All right. What a good group. So, I think everybody remain standing, please.
La 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 ya la 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 Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed Le'olam Va'ed La 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 la
This is an hour of change. Within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over?
On page 148. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kuvod Malkuto, Leolam Vahed. Baruch Shem Kuvod Malkuto, Leolam Vahed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Page 154.
Page 154.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם מאוד על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתיכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
In Micha Mocha, the Israelites praise God's miracle at the Red Sea and take their first steps of freedom, unafraid of Pharaoh and his army. Please join me in reading aloud, standing on the parted shores on page 157. Standing on the parted shores of history,
We still believe we were taught before we ever stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, and that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together.
Page 158.
Mi kamocha belim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh neratehilo o seif elek. Mi kamocha belim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh neratehilo o seif elek. Who is like you? Who is like you? Who is like you? Adonai. Who is like you? Who is like you? Who is like you?
And now Hashkivenu,
Oh my goodness.
page 161.
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, Me'hamadenu shalreinu l'chaim. Spread the shelter of your peace over us. Guide us with wisdom and passion and trust. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, Me'hamadenu shalreinu l'chaim. Save us for the sake of your name. Shield us from hatred, sorrow, and pain. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu l'shalom, Me'hamadenu shalreinu l'chaim.
please rise and turn to page 166 for our tefillah. Lexi.
Adonai, Shananana, Adonai. Adonai, Sitati Taf. Adonai, Fitki Yagid. Ufi Yagid, Nehiratecha. Adonai, Adonai, Satyati Flach. Adonai, Figi Yagid. Ufi Yagid, Tehilatevcha. Adonai, Adonai, Tiftach. Adonai, Satati Leot. Ufi Yagid, Tehilatevcha.
Now it's 166, my apologies.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Ha'gadol Ha'gibor Ha'norah, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, Ve'konei Hakol, Ve'zocher Chatzei Avot V'imahot, U'megidu Lifnei Bneihem, Leman Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer Moshiach Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah, atah gibor le'olam Adonai, mechayei hakol atah ra le'hoshia, mori atah, mechalkel chaim b'chesed, mechayei hakol berachamim rabim, somech noflim berofei holim, umatir asurim, umekayei me'unato, lishenei afar, michamocha ba'gevurot, umidon melach, melech bibit umechayei, umasliach Yeshua, v'ne'eman atah l'chayot hakol. Baruch atah Adonai, mechayei hakol.
Please be seated and take a few minutes for your own thoughts or any of the prayers that you feel connected to.
Oh, say shalom bimromov. We all say shalom aleinu. V'yako Yisrael. V'imru, imru, amen. Yaseh shalom. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, v'yako Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu. say shalom, shalom aleinu, v'yaha Yisrael.
It's now time for our healing service. Carol will lead us in chanting the first verse of Mishaberach. Then I will read the Larchmont Temple list of those in need of healing. And we'll invite you to add any names that you wish to. And then Carol will lead us in the concluding verse. I have to admit, this is my favorite way of doing Mishaberach because I think of the first verse as one arm and the second verse as the second arm. The names are in between, and in a sense, it's a way of a communal hug. So, page 371.
Mishaberach avotenu b'kol habracha limatenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen.
Thank you. Our Mishaberach prayer for Jerry Gullner, Pat Ryan, Marlo Wiggins, Stanley Tereski, Paul Wiggins, Dick Stone, Enid Elton, Andy Rosenthal, Joseph Spinelli, Jody Kahn, Samuel Phillip, Ariel Eden, Ian Spear, Abby Zatoun, Jeffrey Amdor, Kristen Harris, Irv Cohn, Millie Marmer, Jack Blumenfrucht, Kara Rutman, Frank Fozzolari, Jackie Pearsall, Joel Brill, Steve Gutman, Brad Dembski, Donna Bookstein, Elise Silverman, Dave Richards, Christy Riggs, and Lauren Riggs. Anyone have a name to add?
Mishaberach imotenu mikol habracha yavotenu. May those in need of healing with refuah shema, the renewal of the body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
Should come up. Now you get to sit down and have some water. Our Torah portion this week is Reah, and it covers a whole lot. So that's not surprising since it's one of the longest portions in the entire Torah. Fortunately for all of us, my goal was to be brief, or at least concise, in this commentary. So first, a short overview of the portion. Moses tells the Israelites that God places both blessings and curses before them. Blessings will come through the observance of God's laws. Moses details these laws, including laws about worship in a central place, injunctions against idolatry and self-mutilation, dietary rules, debt remission, the release and treatment of Hebrew slaves, and much, much, much more. He also reviews the correct sacrifices to be offered during the pilgrim festivals, Pesach, Sukkot, and Shavuos. That's quite a lot to hear and absorb or read and comprehend. Like some politicians, Moses either has a lot to say or a tendency to get into the weeds. In researching what rabbinic commentators have written about this portion, I found many focus on the first word of the text, Reah, which means see or behold. The reason seems to be that it doesn't make any sense to say see to the Israelites when Moses is not showing them anything. He's giving an oration. Doesn't he really mean listen or pay attention? Another focus seems to be on the many details Moses talks about. What the Israelites have to do after they cross the Jordan, and so many more things. And of course, dietary laws get a whole lot of attention, no surprise. And of course, there's much discussion about blessings and curses, and especially about exercising free will in choosing which you want to take. That, for those who've attended Hever Torah know, free will is a constant source of discussion. Do we have it or don't we have it? So spoiler alert, I'm facilitating Hever Torah tomorrow. So if you want to know more about free will, tune in. But while all of these commentaries are interesting, I found something about Rhea to share with you that I think is much more likable, enjoyable. And I hope you agree. In this portion, Moses teaches us about the deep power of joy, simcha. The word simcha appears only once in each of the other 4 books of the Torah. It appears 12 times in Deuteronomy, 7 times in this portion. Rabbi Jonathan Sachs says it is an unexpected word. The story of the Israelites thus far has not been a joyous one. It's been marked by suffering on one hand, rebellion and dissension on the other. It sort of sounds familiar. It's what we've been through in this country for the last several years, and Israel's going through as well. Rabbi Sachs stresses that we need to understand what simcha means. Simcha is not happiness. That's another Hebrew word, ashrei. That's the kind of emotional high we enjoy as individuals. He says simcha means happiness shared. You can't feel simcha alone. Rabbi Danya Rutenberg says that the command to be joyful is better translated as to rejoice. It is action as much as feeling. Come together with family, with friends, colleagues, your community, have a party, even join in a Shabbat service, and find that by celebrating together, you feel joyful. In Reah, Moses is teaching us for the first time the idea of simcha as communal and social, a collective celebration of the blessings that God has given us. And everyone should be included, everyone, the stranger, the servant, the widow, the orphan. Simcha should be coming together in joy, especially in gratitude for God's blessings and the many good things we can share. I think all of us can remember a teacher we had who made the phrase the joy of learning come alive in us and in our classmates. In my experience, that kind of teacher was tough, demanding, precise about how to do the work the right way, but also someone who understood the big picture, whose goal was to empower us to be responsible for our choices and curious about the world, willing to take on challenges and able to find enjoyment in working together, and in helping others to share our blessings. I am especially proud and inspired by our temple's commitment to social justice and social action, to finding many ways to accomplish tikkun olam, repairing the world, from the Midnight Run to our many coat drives, to lobbying in Albany for better policies, to supporting our community service organizations. Larchmont Temple strives in many ways to share our blessings. And as Rabbi Sachs reminds us, quote, blessings are not measured by how much we own or earn or spend or possess, but by how much we share. Simcha is the mark of a sacred society. It is a place of collective joy. And Rabbi Rutenberg gets the last comment because it's more informal. She says, joy is about being in the world, being part of the world, being with the world, and knowing that This deliciousness, all of it, is a blessing. Tonight is the last of this year's lay-led summer Shabbat services, which the Temple's Ritual Committee helps to organize. As co-chair of the committee, with my wonderful colleague, Karen Green, I am particularly grateful, I'm sure Karen is too, to everyone who has worked to make these services a true simcha, a community celebration of a Judaism that offers joy and hope. We are all surrounded by blessings. Shabbat shalom. Okay.
Okay, so with everything going on in the world and with Israel, I found that tonight is the perfect time to sing Hatikva.
No.
Oh.
We have to do Elenu first.
Oh, sorry.
However, that was a nice suggestion. Joy lies ahead, right? Okay, and hope.
We're going to rise for Elena.
Right, so please rise for Elenu.
Oops.
It's on page 586.
Okay.
No, wait, Tom comes. All right.
We can be seated. It's becoming custom at Larchmont Temple that one Shabbat a month, a person who is celebrating a yard site honor their memory by saying a few words. It's an honor for me to honor Bill Feldman and Sandy. They have been our friends for years. Sandy could not have done more for Larchmont Temple, being involved with so many aspects of temple life. Not only that, but the fact that she was the doyenne of the Monday ladies Mahjong game, making sure that that rotated through our house for many Monday afternoons. Bill would like to say a few words.
I'm going to try to be brief, but it's very hard to be brief after spending 59 years with my wife. We have a lot of very good and interesting moments. I met my wife when I was in college, and I went on my spring vacation to Miami Beach, and it was my first night and her last night. And we met, and after I met her, I told my friends, oh God, I hope I get better luck tomorrow. but she gave me her number, and I did call her, and we started going out together. And 2 years after that, we realized that we were perfect for each other. So now it was time for me to introduce him to my parents. And that was a very hard thing. My parents have arrived from Cuba just a few years before. They spoke no English. My Sandy spoke no Spanish, and she didn't understand Yiddish either. So there was no way of communicating. So I said, don't worry, I'll do the translation. So she comes to the house, we're having dinner, and she's so nervous she can hardly eat, and she's not eating. So my father comes to me and said, boy, she eats like a little bird. So I goes to her and I tell her. So she wanted to show that she knew a few Spanish words. She was a nurse, she learned a few things, and she's gonna explain why she couldn't eat, and she said, yo estoy embarazada. She thought embarazada means embarrassed in Spanish. I say, my mother, heart attack, heart attack. Embarazada means pregnant in Spanish. So you can imagine, after I told the confusion, and everybody started laughing, we had a great time. And luckily, she and my parents got along phenomenal. She was a wonderful daughter. Her mother used to come and spend weekends with us when we had the apartment in Queens, so she could be with my son. And when Anna was little, we used to go to my parents' apartment in Miami Beach, which was a small apartment, one-bedroom apartment. We slept in a pull-out bed, and he slept in a little bed. So you had to be really like each other to be together for so much time. And it was wonderful. We really had and she became like a sister to my sister, and our families melted phenomenally. As a matter of fact, all my family, after they met her, they said to me, make sure you don't divorce her because we're gonna keep her, not you. And then we moved to Larchmont, and she was a hard worker. So right away, she started volunteering in everything. She was a member of the sisterhood. She was the League of Women Voters, you name it, everything. And I remember about when we're members, when she was a member of the sisterhood. In those days, in the 40s, the biggest fundraising for the temple was a bazaar. So I had a store, so I used to donate, clothes, and I had friends that donated. So she and her friend, Marie Wolf, used to schlep to the Bronx in the station wagon and pick up all the clothes and bring it to the temple. And it was such a wonderful experience because we all worked together at the Temple Bazaar, and it was really, so I was very lucky to have her for so many years. I wish you had been a little bit longer. She was a wonderful daughter, a wonderful wife, and a wonderful grandmother, and we all miss her. Thank you. Thanks.
We'll now continue with the reading of yard-site names. We honor the memories of Diana Negrin, Alyssa Becker, Bernard P. Rome, Beatrice Dim, Edith Shubin, Millicent Lapkin, of course Sandy Feldman, Pamela Roth, David Sachs, Betty Gostin, Andrew Schoenberger, Maria Isovich, Maria McGill Prellinger, Edward Klubak, Abram Isovich, Moses Balsam, Philip Legowitz, Helene Loeb, Arthur C. Sandler, Judith Tischler, Alice Summer, Gerald Silber, Eve Patchen, Jeanette Potash, Roberta Lederman, Fred Halden, Samuel Bergen, Max Abrams, David Steinberg, Pamela Rothman, Goldie Paul, Adele Zimmerman, Lawrence Holland, Jules N. Block, Sam Sardovsky, Rika Feigen, Leonard Cohen, William Hospin, Greta Redlick, Dr. Marion K. Coley, Marie Serling, Sidney Sachs, and Renee Leopold. We also remember with very great love recent deaths at Larchmont Temple. Robert Peter Munvis, father of Christy Munvis, Sharon Brecker, wife of Ken, mother of Rachel Hazan and Seth, grandmother of 6. The Honorable Judge Sandra Miller, mother of David, Seth, Miriam, Wendy, grandmother of 12, and great-grandmother of 8. Is anybody that would add a name? Let's rise for Kaddish. Yiskadal v'yiskabach shmei rabba yalma v'man kori Tushpakata v'niyakamata v'ram v'nyam yimu amen. Hey, Shalom Yom Aleinu v'yakal Yisrael yimu amen. Osei Shalom Yimama v'yasei Shalom Aleinu v'yakal Yisrael yimu amen. Be seated. I'd like to thank all who participated in this service tonight. If you'll indulge me just a few minutes for some remembrances of my own. Next week we begin regular Friday night services, and then soon after the holidays. And so the cycle continues. During the past year, we celebrated Rabbi Serkman's 36th anniversary at Larchmont Temple, and the 75th anniversary of the founding of Larchmont Temple. It's an important year for me, too, having been around for most of that. In the 50s, there was a great exodus of Upper West Side Jewish families upgrading themselves and moving to Westchester, Long Island, etc. The reason for this exodus was probably a lack of confidence in the ability of the New York City schools to adequately educate their children. And so in October 1953, my family moved to Larchmont. One of the first things we did was to look to join a temple. We left Temple Israel of the city of New York, a cathedral of Reform Judaism, and looked for a similar congregation. At that time, Larchmont Temple was fledgling. A fledgling congregation that suited our background. As I grew, LT grew. Before long, a Hebrew school was established to satisfy those who felt the need of having a bar mitzvah or bat mitzvah. And so it went. Our temple expanded to a congregation of over 850 families. I watched multiple temple presidents come and go. I enjoyed being a part of temple leadership, having served on the board of trustees for approximately 10 years and chaired the ritual committee forever. I watched the remodeling and rededication of a new sanctuary. I worked with almost all the rabbis that lead our congregation and developed a special relationship with Rabbi Serkman. God bless him. We have become a covenantal congregation. So what is a covenant congregation? In biblical times, in the desert, under Moses' leadership, the covenant was made between God and Moses. At Sinai, the 10 Commandments At Sinai, the 10 Commandments and all those other 613 were handed down, and God's presence was made real. All of the community knew that they were expected to obey the laws and statutes of Judaism, and presumably did, following their leader. This brings us to today. We are all here as a part of a community. Charles Vogel, in his book, The Art of Community, 7 Principles for Belonging, he lays out these principles and applies them to our lives, formal or informal, religious or non-religious, social, physical, or virtual, trying to build a vibrant, living entity that will greatly enrich its members' lives. Many of us pay their dues every year, show up for the high holy days, and then are not seen for the rest of the year. The fact that they've done this is that the fact that they have made their contribution to this covenant. They care. They may study Torah, express their avodah or spirituality, or dedicate themselves to gemiklichkeit, or deeds of loving kindness. So a community, a covenant community, develops and thrives. May it continue to do so. Amen. We will conclude our service with the singing of Hatikvah.
Let's try it again. Do you mean the first? Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.